Everyone, I think, wants to live in a city where art is happening. You don't have to be an art collector to want that to be true about where you are, and art is happening here. And so we didn't have to go dig very far. It's just making visible and promoting the possibilities for art that was already happening.
The artists have been tasked with a couple of things. The main task is making their own original work and making use of the space that they have. And the second task is altering the building in some meaningful way, whether that's through painting or repasting or destruction of the building. We've seen kind of the full gamut.
And so we wanted to have artists come in and make work here so that in some way the story of this place is expressed even a tiny bit in their work, but then have them alter this. So this place that existed for 50 years and people brought their cars to and got their oil changed here is going away, but we're gonna sort of pay homage to it with art.
Even though it looks kind of dilapidated and it will eventually be torn down, it's kind of ironic because I think it's also given me as well as all the other artists like so much opportunity to make and create work that they never could have.
Being able to work here is a new birth in a different way as an artist. There's no way that I would, even remotely thought about displaying this had it not been one for my students, but also had it not been for the opportunity to be in this space. What other place would give an opportunity to artists where you can come in, they're gonna say, okay, do what you please, as long as it's not profane. I can't name one location that would have given artists the opportunity to simply step in and do as their heart desires.
One of the fun things about the way we try to really embrace that idea of building communities is a little bit of experimentation. So when we started this whole process, we weren't quite sure where it was going to go. As we've seen how much traction it's gotten, how much energy has been created, I think certainly one of our hopes is that this starts to be something that the community as a whole, and particularly the development community as a whole, starts to embrace.
And if you're putting arts in locations where there have not been art before, that you're kind of, you're almost allowing like a rotating art gallery where the public who was not exposed to the art is now able to see that art.
This is people in Charlotte who have resources investing in process and investing in community and investing in a bigger picture view of how art is made and what art means as a process and as a practice. It's one thing to say, okay, we're going to give a showcase. It's another thing to say, okay, we're going to give you residency space. It's another thing to say you're going to get some resources. But to put those all together actually creates a model for making this kind of work happen in the future.
And so for us to have an entire month to work on it means that they get to influence it and we get to, as a group, change things on the piece. Like the amount of time is an incredible luxury to instead of having to rush this stuff or like practice piecemeal and then show up at a show, the ability to come do it, and also the ability to rehearse in the place where the show will be with this much sound is a great opportunity to dial things in and be able to really understand the room and try different parts of the room. It gives us the opportunity to, I think the pieces get deeper by tenfold.
It's really important, I think, for artists to have a space to come and to work, not only to create work, but to have a community. And so working with Todd and Holly in this space where they had to come through my space to access theirs, and just general conversation and updates of like, hey, what are you working on now? What's going on today? It's just really beneficial, not only for accountability, but just for the community aspect and the encouragement to have that support.
A lot of times you think of creating art with like a blank slate or a blank canvas, and this is the kind of antithesis to that. There's so much already going on that can be reflected upon. So I think the opportunity to kind of bring people into a space that they would have, whether it's artists or visitors coming to visit the exhibitions, and to see what people are doing and thinking, the kind of creative energy that can be produced in a place like this is really exciting.
The three things that artists need are time, space, and money, resources. So in order to make our work, we need those things, and to have the opportunity to have 24/7 access to a space, and some money to play with in terms of making the work. It's huge, and it's unprecedented.
There's something important being said about the value of the work. That's an interesting kind of pushback to like the commodification of art, whether it's visual art or performance art, sculpture or whatever. And I think that that is really powerful. And I think especially here in this building, because we're in Uptown Charlotte, that is even stronger because we're surrounded by the financial everything.
Different parts of the community are circling each other all the time, but they're having the same conversation. What is Charlotte? Who is Charlotte? It has been a chance for artists who live and work in Charlotte and who are proud of being in Charlotte. That it's an opportunity for us to kind of put our little stamp or add our little point into the conversation.